Hey everybody, this is Danelle. Today we are going to talk about the current market and fear, uncertainty, and doubt, as well as what are blue chips. I'm going to quickly go over equities markets, then over to crypto markets, and then to the NFT market. So, in case you didn't know, all of those markets in general are down right now, meaning most of the companies, cryptocurrencies, and the NFTs in those markets are experiencing heavy declines from their all-time high, meaning the highest price that it's ever been valuated at any certain period of time over the last 52 weeks. Most of the time, people refer to the 52-week high and the 52-week low, and we're starting to see in equities as well as in crypto and as well as in NFTs a lot of assets that are reaching their 52-week low. So when this happens, you start to find a lot of people are fearful, they're uncertain of what the future is going to hold, and they're doubtful as to what they should do, whether they should buy, whether they should hold, whether they should sell. So we're going to go over just the basics with regards to fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and go over what exactly you can look into during this time to find hopefully the best deals as long-term investors. We are not financial advisors. We hope that the information that we share with you in all of our videos are just a starting point as you begin to do your own research and making the best investment decisions for you and your circumstance. So, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt is a propaganda tactic that has been used in sales, marketing, public relations. It's used in politics, polling, cults, etc. You start to hear it more in the current markets as well. It's not necessarily, it can be used as a propaganda tactic, meaning, it's being used to push a certain agenda. And sometimes people will accuse, mainstream media of doing this often. But also, fear, uncertainty, and doubt is real just in terms of people really being fearful about their investments and whether or not they should buy or sell or trade in and out of certain assets that they have invested in. So, currently, given the fact that we are starting to reach a lot of 52-week lows and just general downturns in these markets, people are uncertain as to what to do. So during this time, a lot of people will look into what are called blue chips. So in stocks, blue chips are usually huge companies with an excellent reputation, usually companies that are producing significant revenue, consistent revenue, and they usually are market leaders and have high market capitalizations. So it says here, blue chip stock typically has a market capitalization in the billions, is generally the market leader or among the top 3 companies in its sector, and is more often than not a household name. For all of these reasons, blue chip stocks are among the most popular to buy among investors. Some examples of blue chip stocks are IBM, Coca-Cola, and Boeing. Now, this is an article that's been updated in 2020. We are now in 2022. I think these names would be changed, some of them being Apple, Walmart, Microsoft would probably also be considered blue chip stocks in this day and age. So we're going to quickly go to the companies ranked by revenue, meaning how much are these companies actually bringing in? Sometimes with stocks, it can be speculative, meaning that people are forecasting how much a company is going to be over time. So they're willing to overpay in some instances for that particular stock because they believe in due time they will reach these higher valuations. But with this, at least we get to see exactly how much companies are bringing in. Currently, right now, Walmart is ranked number 1 in the amount of revenue that they bring in at over 570 billion. You have Amazon also there at the top. PetroChina is, I believe, a petroleum company out of China. Apple, which is the highest ranked company by market cap in the world. They also tend to bring in lots of revenue. They have lots of cash on hand, also a very well run company. So that's a place that a lot of people put their money in because it doesn't fluctuate and have the type of volatility that a lot of other smaller cap stocks do. Berkshire Hathaway is run by Warren Buffett, who is considered to be one of the greatest investors of all time. He's known to have always invested in value stocks. ExxonMobil, a large gas company, CVS Health does very well, another health company, United Health. So these are companies that actually bring in high revenue. And if we go here to the actual market cap of companies, currently the rankings are here. You see Apple at number 1, Microsoft at number 2, just a tad under 2 trillion, Google number 3. So you see big tech is at the top in terms of market capitalization. Amazon also up at the top, Tesla doing very well. Once again, Berkshire Hathaway hanging in there very strong. Then you have Bitcoin, just to have an idea of where it stands amongst other big tech and other big equities. And once again, United Health is on this list. And you see Taiwan Semiconductor, Visa, Walmart, another one that was on that high revenue list. So these would be considered the blue chips in the stock market. So if we go to the charts and you see over a 5-year period, this is a chart comparing Google. SPY is the ETF, so it basically represents the S&P 500, which are the top 500 companies. They all have to reach a particular benchmark to be qualified to be put into the S&P 500, but it's basically the top 500 companies, and it's represented in this SPY ETF. You have Microsoft and Apple. So as you can see, you're going to have higher returns on individual stocks. Sometimes they're also going to bring in higher volatility, meaning that it's going to go up a lot of times more starkly and it's going to go down a little bit more starkly, where ETFs, because it's spread out amongst many different companies representing many different companies, you're not just relying on one company. So if one company is up, another company may be down. It's kind of evened out in an ETF. So as you can see, over the last 5 years, SPY has done very well, yielding over 70% of a return if you held it for 5 years. If you held Apple or Microsoft, you see they both brought in nearly triple, over triple your investment if you invested 5 years ago. So there is some value in putting money in high blue chip, high tier, top tier stocks, but it's not guaranteed. So a lot of people are looking for safety. So once again, it really depends on your stomach for investing. What's your long-term horizon, your short-term horizon? It all depends on your circumstance. But if you want to be on the safer side and be what people consider to be risk off, then you would consider something like the SPY, which represents the S&P 500, which doesn't have necessarily the higher returns, but you see the spikes, like here, what happened in March of 2020, this spike was much larger from Apple as opposed to what the spike down was for S&P 500. So it really just depends on your circumstance. But you can see what these blue chips have done. So now we're going to look at Bitcoin, which is a highly speculative asset. Still hasn't been around for very long. It was invented in 2008. First transaction happened in 2009. So we're still very, very early on in the cryptocurrency space. When we think of so-called blue chips in the cryptocurrency market, we look at Bitcoin because it's been at the top from the very beginning, and no one has been able to overtake Bitcoin in terms of market capitalization since it's been on the market. People are predicting that there's going to be a flippening by Ethereum, but that is yet to be seen at this point. But you can see, if you look at the 5-year chart, Bitcoin has done over a 20x. It has done over 2,383% in 5 years. Ethereum has done a 16x at over 1,625%. And if you just want to have, for comparison's sake, we have SPY. You can't even see the number down here, but as we know from the other chart, it was around 70% that it has done over the past 5 years. But as you can see, Bitcoin is extremely volatile. Ethereum, extremely volatile. Look at these large price swings. So some people who do not want to deal with the swings, are not looking to hold necessarily long term, then they don't want to deal with something like Bitcoin or Ethereum. They'd rather have something that's like SPY, that's slow moving, not as many bumps, and you're still likely to get a profit if you hold on for an extended period of time. We'll look at one more chart. Another reason why people look to so-called blue chips as opposed to smaller cap or mid cap coins for the long term is because look at some of these more popular high flying stocks, particularly since the downturn in 2020. You have Zoom, which was a popular stock. You have Peloton, which was a popular stock. And Netflix at a certain period of time was also a popular stock. And just for giggles, we have Spotify as well. And as you can see, especially looking at Zoom and Peloton, they did extremely well after the downturn during the pandemic or towards the beginning of the pandemic in March of 2020. And then you see once it had its spike towards the end of 2020, going into 2021, everything started to drop. And now, as we are going towards a looming recession, meaning that it's more likely that people are less likely to spend. And so if people are not spending, then the economy slows down and that affects stocks and that affects most markets because that means people are not spending money, whether it be going out to eat, spending money on retail items, spending money on stocks. Everything will start to be affected if people are no longer spending the money that they have. So now we're going to go to the cryptocurrency market and check out Bitcoin and Ethereum compared to some of the other smaller stocks. You see Bitcoin here has been on a decline almost 20% over the past 7 days. Ethereum, same thing, almost 20%. And these are the top cryptos. And in cryptocurrency, once again, still very speculative. So the swings are going to be much higher. When you look at SPY for the day, I believe it went down around 3% today, which is still a lot for the S&P 500 to go down. Bitcoin, in comparison, was over double, almost triple that at 8% in one day. If you look and scroll down the market and look at some of the smaller coins, you'll see that the declines get even worse. You look at ApeCoin, which was very popular around the time of the Yuga Labs other deed land sale. You look at Decentraland, Tezos. A lot of these have gone down nearly 20% as well. So smaller cap coins also see a major decline, sometimes even much worse than some of the so-called blue chip or top cryptocurrencies, which really at this time is only Bitcoin and Ethereum. We can also take that to the NFT space. When you look at the all-time charts, you have CryptoPunks, you have Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Azuki Clone X, that's from Artifact, which is in partnership with Nike. You have Moonbirds, which is a recent addition, which came out several weeks ago, came out blazing. Meebits is also part of the Yuga Labs family. Doodles is another cryptocurrency that has done very well since it was released, I believe, towards the end of 2021. Cool Cats also had gone on a major run. World of Women is a women-led project that was considered a blue chip. But when you go to see what they are doing now and look at their charts individually, these so-called blue chips aren't doing well anymore. We'll look at Cool Cats as an example. So here's Cool Cats. It's now at 3.899. At the peak of its powers, we'll go over the all-time chart here. It was over 20 Ethereum, and now it's down to less than 4. Cool Cats was considered at one time a blue chip or close to a blue chip project because it had all the volume. You see something that's been traded over 100,000 in Ethereum. That's a lot of Ethereum, a lot of money that has been traded back and forth. And you don't see a lot of projects that have reached that level of trading volume. So it was considered to be top tier. But now, not so much. It was a steady decline. It started to kind of consolidate in this 10 Ethereum range for several months. And now, over the past month, you see it's a precipitous decline. And if you look at most NFT projects now, at this point, particularly over the last 30 days, you just see a drop. And today is probably the lowest day for most NFTs. We'll look at World of Women, just to look at one more NFT project. It's down to 4. And there was a period of time where I believe it was somewhere nearing, it was over 15 Ethereum just a few months ago. Let's look at the all-time chart. You see here, it had actually stayed in a range for a while in that 2, 3, 4 Ethereum range for several months towards the end of last year, had a major run up. And this is when people are saying, okay, World of Women, they're making their mark, they're here to stay, staying well over 10 ETH for a couple of months, the beginning of this year, even as late as March of this year. And then you start to see the decline all the way down to what we have now, a floor price of 4.34 Ethereum. So NFTs, we don't know where we're going to go in the near term. We believe here at Networkchain that NFTs are going to continue to evolve. They're going to be more than just profile picture projects. They're going to evolve into utility projects as well as so many more things. Please feel free to refer back to our NFT video, our introduction to NFT video. And it goes over some of the different types of NFTs that we have out now. And it's going to continue to go through its own renaissance in time. So we're still very, very early when it comes to NFTs. But if you think about these so-called blue chip projects, a lot of people are looking at anything that Yuga Labs has been a part of, which now includes CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, MeBits, and Other Deed, which is now incredibly already in the top 10, and it's only been out for a little over a week in all-time sales. People are looking at that. Some people are also looking still at World of Women. Despite the precipitous drop, people are still looking at Cool Cats, Doodles as well. So these are some of the projects that people are looking into, as opposed to some of the new projects that have just come out and haven't done much volume over time. If we look over the last 24 hours, some of these projects have not been around for a very long time. Murakami is a NFT project from Takashi Murakami, which is a popular artist. So this is a little bit different, as it's a PFP project from a popular artist. So it could potentially have long-term value, but who knows? Ethereum name for service, we've mentioned that before in our past videos. It's related to the wallet names that you can have affiliated on the Ethereum blockchain. Something token is a new token that just came out. Alexis Ohanian, who is a popular venture investor, is supposedly affiliated with this project. So some of these other projects we have not heard of, and we don't know if they're going to be around 30 days, 6 months, a year from now. Most of these, even though some of these names are very popular in NFT space, may not be here for very long because it's still so new. But as we learn about investing, understanding risk on and risk off, understanding what a blue chip means, whether it's in stocks or in cryptocurrency or in NFTs, it's really important to just understand the basics when it comes to understanding what your needs are and what the best moves are for you. Are you looking to be a long-term investor? Can you, what they say, set it and forget it? Or are you more of a trader where you want to day trade or trade over a shorter periods of time? Or are you a swing trader where you get in and out of stocks depending on, the sentiment going on in the particular market? So it all just depends on your own particular outlook, but it is important to get educated about investing from a very fundamental viewpoint and then just build on top of that. So hopefully this was helpful for you. We really appreciate you tuning in. We hope to bring you more content over the next several weeks and months. So please let us know what you would like us to cover. We're learning alongside you. We hope this is helpful. We look forward to connecting with you soon. In the meantime, take care.